At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Cincinnati Reds. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. By Citi, preferred card of the New York Mets. And by the Genesis G70 2019 North American Car of the Year. Visit your local Genesis retailer. New York City. City of architecture, modern architecture, Art Deco architecture, classic architecture. And then there's the best of them all, the Chrysler Building. And then there's the architecture of the ballpark out in Queens, a lovely edifice known as Citi Field. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you today as the Mets wrap up their homestand with the last game of a 4-game series against the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds have won 2 of the first 3, both of them by 1 run, both of them on 9th-inning home runs against Edwin Diaz. Monday night it was Jesse Winker.
Well, both of them with 2 outs as well in the 9th inning. And, you know, the Mets made a big acquisition here. One of the first trades that Brody made, and here's the home run right here, the hanging slider. He had a difficult spring too, Edwin Diaz. He had 57 saves last year. He's expected to come in and save ball games. I'm not pulling the panic button right now. He will right the ship.
He gave up only 5 home runs all of last year. He's given up 3 already this year. 2 in this series, the first Met reliever ever to give up 2 go-ahead 9th-inning home runs in the same series. Meanwhile, the Mets will be better served in their bullpen if their starters can continue to pitch well. The last 4 guys have done the job. Now it's Noah Syndergaard's turn.
Well, it was a good turn last night for DeGrom and Syndegaard. His last 3 starts, he's 0-2 in 15 innings pitched. A very uncharacteristic 27 hits, 14 earned runs, and the 2 home runs. It's been hurt by the long ball. I think, Gary, he's having problems pitching from the stretch with runners on base, and he's pretty much admitted to that.
Syndergaard's been struggling, so has the young Cincinnati starter today, Tyler Mahle.
Well, rookie year last year was 7-9. He had 2 great first 2 starts, and he's on a 0-3 string right now where he's given up 13 runs in his last 17 innings pitched.
Mets head on the road after the game today to head to Milwaukee. Last game of the homestand, early day baseball at Citi Field. Mets and Reds, all the action on SNY. New York Mets baseball SNY is brought to you by Jim Beam, the official bourbon of the New York Mets, by RTS, sustainable waste provider of the New York Mets, and by your local Honda dealers. Visit one today. Be here Friday, May 10th for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. All fans will receive a Robinson Cano shirt, courtesy of First Data. Purchase tickets at Mets.com/tickets. Time for the Scots triple threat. Jeff McNeil does better behind in the count than anybody in the game. Michael Conforto's not hitting much, but he's getting on base with a lot of walks. Noah Syndergaard has never lost to the Reds in 5 career starts. The Mets are 5-0 in those games. They'll try and keep that streak going today. Against Citi Field Saturday night, May 11th. The Mets play the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. You can stay after the game and enjoy a fireworks show that will light up the Citi Field sky, presented by DraftKings. To purchase tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Well, we're ready to go. Are you ready to go? Mets and Reds, first pitch coming right up. You know, the Reds don't Citi Field very often, only 1 series a year, but 25-year-old Jesse Winker is trying his best to become the Mets' newest nemesis, their heel, if you excuse the expression. He has certainly made his presence felt over the first 3 days of this series, not only making plays but interacting with the paying customers too.
Well, he's certainly got a little mustard on him, and you can add a little relish. But, you know, he hustles. He's exuberant.
Hit the game-winning home run on Monday, made the game-ending catch yesterday, and he will be leading off for the Reds this afternoon for the first time in this series. In fact, here is your Hyundai starting lineup for David Bell's Cincinnati Reds. Joey Votto gets the day off, so Derek Dietrich will play first base. Last night's hero Jose Iglesias in the 6th spot. And you've got the rhyming couplet battery. Kurt Casale and Tyler Mahle.
I'll remember that. And there's your Toyota numbers for Noah, and the hits are so uncharacteristic. He's been getting batted around. 299 batting average total. Left-handers hitting 309, right-handers 291. He's on a tough little run right now where he's been getting batted around, and we'll see how he fares today.
See, this is good. Jesse Winker is actually getting booed by the Citi Field fans as he comes up to the plate. So they have taken to heart what Jesse has tried to generate over the last few days, and he's got a little smile on him as he steps in against Syndergaard. Noah throws his first pitch of the day. It's a fastball for a strike, and we're underway. Winker 2 for 10 in this series, batting leadoff for the 12th time this year. 8 home runs, leads the Reds, who continue to struggle at the plate, but they've won 2 out of 3 in this series. And Noah's quickly ahead 0-2.
Well, he's coming out throwing a fastball. Noah, basically, what I've observed, has become a breaking ball pitcher, and a guy with a fastball like his, I don't understand it. And hopefully he'll come out today and just try to find a rhythm.
We saw Jacob deGrom do that last night. Came out throwing predominantly fastball early in the game. Got him in the groove. 3 straight fastballs to Winker. That one at 99. And it's 0-2. Eugenio Suarez on deck, and then Derek Dietrich for the Reds, who at 210 have the lowest batting average in the National League. They're 11th in the league in runs scored, 13th in on-base percentage. First slider misses low and in, 1-2.
I love this shot. Dave Island in the background there.
And there's the first strikeout for Syndergaard. He gets Winker with the changeup for the first out of the day.
And then set up by the fastballs. Came after him early, got ahead. There's your circle change. Late sink. Go sit down. Oh, he's waving.
Well, I don't know what else has been bugging Noah Syndergaard early in the season, but I do know this. This is the first time this season that Noah has let his hair down.
Oh,
he had the hair in the ponytail for each of his first 6 starts. He has gone back to letting it flow.
Very observant here. And it's actually a first warm day he's pitched here. It's going to be a lovely day at the ballpark. The sun's out.
68 degrees at game time. Nice first pitch curveball to Eugenio Suarez. And he comes back with a fastball to get at 0-2.
So get a little better grip on the ball. I know it's tough for both pitcher and hitters in cold weather. This is a warm weather sport.
Suarez just 1 for 13 in this series, and 1 for 14 as Syndergaard gets him with a curveball for the second out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Noah to start his day.
And we'll take a look at your Lexus starting infield for the Mets. Frazier back in the lineup at third base. Dominic Smith getting his 4th start of the season at first. And you cannot take that man out there in left field. Number 7 on your scorecard. For positioning. McNeil, he has to play every day.
Left field, third base, second base. Got to find him a spot somewhere. Here's Derek Dietrich hitting 3rd in the order. His 2nd start in this series. He's already been hit by 2 pitches in this series, which is, well, it's pretty much the norm for Dietrich. He's got good numbers against Syndergaard, 7 for 22 in his career. DeGrom feeling better after 7 scoreless innings last night, despite the Mets' loss.
He would have felt better if he had a W in front of his name.
Well, it felt a lot like last year. Last year was a Cy Young Award season. Mets didn't score for him. He won only 10 games. That was pretty much the story last night. They didn't score for him. The 7th time in his career he's gone 7 or more scoreless innings without getting a win. 2-1 to Dietrich. Yasiel Puig would be next. And Dietrich lines one the other way, and he's got the first hit of the day. A 2-out single for Dietrich.
Well, going with the pitch. Fastball away. Little run. And just take it the other way. Try to pull that ball. You're going to play Pepper with Cano at second. And there's your contact. Oh, it makes me want to get in the box again.
Here's Yasiel Puig. And Puig pops up the first pitch he sees. Rosario looking through the sunglasses. Says, I got it. And he does to retire the side. Mets come to bat with no score. Geico starting lineup for the Mets today. Dom Smith gets just his 4th start of the season. Plugs into the 2-hole with Pete Alonso getting the day off. Todd Frazier had the day off yesterday. He's back in the lineup at batting 5th. Wilson Ramos dropped to 7th. He's been struggling. Met offense in general has been struggling. The Reds have the best pitching staff in the league so far, and Tyler Mahle picks up the reins today.
Well, you can see Mahle's numbers right there. His Land Rover numbers. And like I said at the open, his last 3 starts, he has been clouded around. First 2 starts, he only gave up 1 run.
6.88 ERA those last 3. Jeff McNeil leads off against him and takes a fastball low and away. McNeil 5 for 11 in this series. 365 puts him second behind Cody Bellinger in the National League batting race. 450 on base percentage has him pegged in the leadoff spot. And he fouls one away, and it's 1-1. Well, that appears to be what Mickey Callaway is going to do long term now. It had been assumed that Brandon Nimmo was going to keep that leadoff spot based off his on-base percentage last year, but McNeil is getting on at such a prolific rate. Mickey's keeping him right in that spot. 1-1 from Tyler Mahle, and it misses up and away. 2-1.
Mahle pretty much over the top, has a curveball and a changeup, but not good command of his secondary pitches, and been falling behind like he is here. Has to come in with the fastball.
Got it on the hands of McNeil, and he fouls it off. 2-2. Through 30 games in a season, not the highest batting average ever, but amongst the highest. Cleon Jones finished at .340 in 1969 when he got off to that amazing start. 2-2 to McNeil, and he punches that one foul. Just the ability to stay in the at-bat.
Well, he stays back well. He's a very good off-speed hitter, and that's because he's able to wait. He's got very quick hands, which enables him to wait, and most importantly, good knowledge of the strike zone.
And he pulls that one on the ground. The second baseman Peraza's got it, and that's the first out for Mahle.
And your Reds starting infield defense. Dietrich getting the second start at first base. Second start in this series. Casale behind the plate, his second start as well. Schebler, I pronounced that correctly.
Schebler.
Scott Schebler.
There you go. There you go. I knew you could do it.
I'm glad they're leaving town.
We won't see him again until September in Cincinnati. Here's Dom Smith with 1 out. Dom's last start was a week ago yesterday, so his playing time has been sparse. Got off to a really good start, both starting and coming off the bench. So 0 for 3 in this series. And the question's going to be, as Pete Alonso continues to thrive, how much does Mickey Callaway have to get Dom Smith in the lineup to keep him sharp so he can continue to be productive off the bench?
Well, one of the strengths of this team has been thus far, Gary, has been Mickey Callaway has a strong bench to call upon late in ball games. I mean, Dom is having a tough time. Of late, he hasn't been playing much. He has his last couple pinch hits. He's made outs, but he's a threat off the bench. You got Davis that comes off the bench.
But I guess the question is, with a younger player like Dom, and he's still only 23, if you don't play him enough, can he stay sharp enough to be productive off the bench?
Well, you remember, I watched him for most every game, and there's his pinch hit numbers right there so far. is he does sprints, because, you know, Dom has a little bit of a weight problem. He's going to have to stay fit, be ready when he's called upon.
Calls off the high curveball, and it's 2-2. Well, he's done a fantastic job of getting himself into shape. He's dealt with his sleep apnea problem. He's clearly a different player now than he was at any point that we've seen him in the past. But now stuck behind Alonso in terms of being a starting player and trying to contribute everything he can. And so far, so good. 2-2 from Mountney to Smith, and he goes down swinging on the curveball. Casali will make the throw down to first, and that's the second out.
Well, Casali has a good breaking ball. It's a matter of getting it over, and Dom goes fishing there, didn't try to hold up, but it wasn't a strike.
So Malley's retired the first two. And now Robinson Cano, who enters the day 2 hits shy of 2,500 for his career after doubling last night. Second game back after missing 2 games after being hit by a pitch on Sunday. Full shift on against Cano. And Malley misses high with a fastball. Well, among active players, only 2 have more hits than Cano. That's Pujols, who, by the way, Pujols bearing down on 2,000 RBIs is now just 2 away from that, and Miguel Cabrera, and then Cano. I mean, 2,000 RBIs. That's stratospheric.
Yes, it is.
Only 4 players in the history of the game who've done it, and 2 of them have done it unofficially. Babe Ruth and Cap Anson. And the other 2, Alex Rodriguez and Hank Aaron. Two and 1 to Cano, hitting at 269 after a slow start. Well, there's the full shift. We haven't seen this much lately against Robbie. Statcast AI, powered by Amazon Web Services. During spring training and early in the season, he was going the other way a lot. Here he bounces one just foul. 2-2.
Well, Cano, when he reaches 2,500 hits, which is, I think, inevitable bar injury, he'll be the 6th player from the Dominican Republic to achieve that plateau. Adrian Beltre, of course, numero uno, and Albert Pujols, Vladimir Guerrero, Julio Franco, Manny Ramirez.
To qualify that, the first Vladimir Guerrero.
Yes,
who knows about the second? Here's the 2-2, and that's laced toward the middle, a base hit for Cano, and now he's just 1 hit away from 2,500. He hit that ball so hard it was just a step to the left of Suarez, and he still couldn't get it.
Suarez was a day late and a nickel short on that bullet. And what I like about that hit is watch your screen there to left. It wasn't that far to his left, just a bullet. I love it when Cano uses the opposite gap, left central.
So the Mets have their first base runner, and here's Michael Conforto. Michael 2 for 11 in this series, just 5 for his last 37, but he continues to draw a lot of walks and get on base every game. Malley rushes one inside, ball 1. Michael, in fact, is now tied for the National League lead in walks with 23. On base percentage .398. That's in the top 10 in the league.
A little bit of a slump right now. It seems that the outside corner has been giving him some problems. Well, the beautiful swing of Mr. Cano. And when you lose the rhythm in this, it's excellent to see that this slow motion right here, the point of contact. You hit the ball on the outside part of the plate further, deeper, up at the plate, as my father used to say. But he's got such a beautiful rhythmic swing, and so many swings today are widespread and very muscular, and his is old-fashioned. Just one of the beautiful swings in baseball today.
Conforto gets jammed and fouls off the fastball. 2-2. have been getting you out of way, as is the case with Conforto? Does that make you more susceptible to getting jammed? Because you're looking for that pitch away?
No, I don't think so. You never know what's going on in the head of the hitter, Gary. Does Conforto feel because he's hitting cleanup?
Oh, and that came up and in, came off the bat.
A little cutter there, and that could have got his hand. But I wonder if Conforto hitting cleanup, and there's the foul ball, if he feels that he has to hit more for more power. I'm wondering if he's being told to hit for more power. I don't know.
The thing about Michael is he can hit home runs by going the other way.
Precisely. You know, don't alter anything. You're hitting cleanup. Just pretend you're hitting third or pretend you're hitting fifth.
But we've seen this from time to time over the course of Conforto's career. He gets a little pull happy sometimes.
Yes, yes. He didn't when he came up, and he's got a little bit of that. Little bit of the loop in his swing, a little bit of the uppercut that was taught by the last regime here.
Seventh pitch of the at bat to Michael, and the curveball at his feet, and it's 3-2.
Well, he's got a good take back, but he's just been under a lot. That ball beat him a little bit. I'd like to see a little more freedom in his rotation of his hips.
Frazier on deck. Dietrich playing behind Cano, will be running on 3-2. And Conforto lines one toward the middle. That's a base hit. Cano around second. He'll stop there. Bobbled a little bit by Schebler, but Cano had already slammed on the brakes. And the Mets with back-to-back 2-out hits.
Well, good sign up the middle, using the middle of the field. When you're struggling, you've got to kind of, you know, pull back the reins on your swing and try to find your rhythm. And then once you come out and you're starting to feel really good at the plate, then you can kind of go, when you get a pitch to hit, you can go to Whalen.
So now Frazier, who sat last night, 1 for 9 in this series. That one was a home run. This is his 8th start since coming back from the oblique injury that obliterated his spring training. 2 out and 2 on. And Malley misses away with a fastball for ball 1.
Frazier 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Mets have seen Tyler Malley only once before. That was 2 years ago. They got 3 runs in 4 innings against him and beat him that day. But that was a whole different lineup. There's a call strike 1-1. In fact, there are only 2 batters in the lineup today who've had plate appearances against Malley. Dom Smith had 1 and Brandon Nimmo had 1, and that's it. So this is a new look for most of these Mets, including Frazier, the former Red. And curveball misses away 2-1.
Boy, home plate umpire Marty Foster got a little tin cup back there.
A little different look for this unit. Jerry Meals was the crew chief. John Bacon has taken his spot, so Ron Kolpa is the acting crew chief. 2-1 coming to Frazier, and he hits one on the ground down to Suarez at third. He goes the short way to get the force, and that retires the side. No score after 1. Second inning with no score. Jose Peraza leads off against Noah Syndergaard. Peraza, who hit leadoff and hit 9th, today is hitting 5th. It's an odd combination. And the first pitch slider for a strike.
Guy hitting 196 in the 5-hole. The Reds have had all kinds of problems offensively.
Peraza's 3 for 12 in this series. Has driven in a couple of runs. And he reaches for the fastball and fouls it back 0-2.
So the Mets are trying to avoid a sub-500 homestand here.
Winning at home is a big concern for this team. It certainly was last year. Mets are 6-8 at home, 4-5 on this homestand. One and 2 to Peraza. Jose Iglesias, last night's home run hero, on deck, and then Scott Schebler. When the Reds won 1-0 last night, it was their first road 1-0 win in 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, long enough ago As that curveball's hit back up the middle. And Peraza's got a base hit. Long enough ago that the guy who hit the home run in their last 1-0 road win was Jay Bruce.
Oh.
Yeah. That in St. Louis.
Shall we go to Steve?
Oh, Steve Gelbs is here today. Steve, would you like to talk?
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, Keith. I appreciate you keeping Gary on track there, getting it down to me. Noah Syndergaard, that at bat to Peraza right there, kind of indicative of what we've seen from him early this season. He gets to 0-2 and then doesn't put the batter away. He did it well in the first inning, though. This year, as opposed to any year in the past, he seemed to struggle in those spots. 37 batters coming into today's game had Syndergaard started 0-2. They had a .314 batting average against him with an .810 OPS. Mickey Callaway said early this year he's just not trusting that off-speed stuff the way that he has in the past. So it'll be something to watch here as the game moves on a day where Syndergaard does look like he's trusting it a little bit more.
Iglesias, it's a double play ball. Easy turn for Cano. 6-4-3 double play. Hey, Steve, while we have you here.
Yes.
Is there anybody you wanted to wish happy birthday to today?
I really appreciate you guys thinking of me today and making sure that I get out to my best friend in the whole world a hearty happy birthday to Wayne Randazzo. I know he's on the radio right now, but I'll see him on the plane. We'll have a fantastic celebration on the way to Milwaukee.
Ooh.
That is as sincere a birthday wish as I think I've heard on this broadcast in a long time.
Your best friend in the whole world?
That is so sweet.
Does that surprise you in any way?
Well, you know, the world is a big place, Steve.
What does that say about your other friends?
Says that I don't like them as much.
You
as I
haven't
like
known Wayne that long, have you?
What other friends?
Oh, how's your wife feel about this?
She's accepted it.
Here's the pitch to Scott Schebler, missing inside, a ball and a strike.
Both of our wives have accepted it.
Well, do me a favor. Could you curtain your row on the plane? 2-1 to Schebler.
I have no response to that.
Good. It's all right, Keith. You're not the only one who's allowed to say those things. Or maybe you are.
Oh, it's a day game.
Clearly. Schebler hits a comebacker, but Noah deflects it into no man's land, and Schebler's safe. Looked like an easy play for Noah, but it clanked off his glove, and that'll be an error charged to Syndergaard.
That's a tough error, I think. Ball hit back to the pitcher. You can give that a hit, couldn't you? Let's see what they decide here.
It wasn't hit very hard.
But still, okay, it's an E. I'm not arguing there.
Yeah, I agree. It's an error.
I do too, but it's, you know,
it's Howie Carpin, you know, he's a hard hitter. And rightly so. Here's Kurt Casale. 0 for 2 in this series. Tucker Barnhart has started 2 games in the series. Now Casale, his second start.
And that is, I don't want to be negative here, but it is now the 27th team error for the Mets here, and this is the 31st game of the season.
It's the most errors of any team in the National League, although not even close to the Major League lead. The Seattle Mariners have just made an enormous number of errors. Conforto comes toward the line and gets there in fair territory. The pull in the fly ball by Casale, and in the innings, so Syndergaard gets around his own error. Home second inning with no score. Time for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Unfortunate for the Cleveland Indians last night. Corey Kluber hit by a Brian Anderson line drive, fractured forearm, out indefinitely. Kluber was not off to a good start, but that puts a huge crimp in an Indians rotation that's already without Mike Clevenger. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Brandon Nimmo leads off the home second against Tyler Mahle and takes a fastball for a strike. Nimmo hitless in his last 12 at-bats, including 0 for 10 in this series. Nimmo, Ramos, and Rosario for the Mets in the second. And a curveball bends in for a strike, and it's 0-2. 24-year-old Tyler Mahle, Newport Beach, California. 7th-round draft pick by the Reds in 2013. One of 2 pitching Malley brothers. His older brother Greg had put in some big league time with the Angels and is now in the Angels farm system, pitching in AAA.
Just another note, Marty Foster, where was that curveball?
Yeah, he's missed a few.
Jeez.
That fastball catches the inside corner, and Nimmo's caught looking, and that's the 2nd strikeout for Malley. So 1 out and nobody on. Now another struggling hitter, Wilson Ramos. Just 2 for his last 22. 1 for 9 in this series. And Mickey Callaway has him down in the 7th spot in the batting order today.
Yeah, he's been struggling a little bit. A lot of first ball hitting for Ramos. Very aggressive hitter.
Made a 1-pitch out in 15% of his plate appearances. That's the 2nd highest rate in the major league.
And I don't have a problem with that. Your first ball fastball hitter, you get out of that box.
Well, there are the standings in the National League East. Phillies came from behind to beat the Tigers last night. Maikel Franco, another big hit. Boy, he's had a really good early season.
He's really come on as a player.
Making more contact. He's hitting more balls the other way.
Maybe hitting him 8th in the lineup in the beginning of the year was good for him with a pitcher behind him, that he had to be more selective because he was always a free swinger.
And they need him right now because Bryce Harper is really struggling. Ramos foul tips and strikes out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Malley to start the 2nd. But nobody in the division is pulled away. You figured there'd be 4 teams competing, and they've been competitive, but you got the Phillies 4 games over 500, the Mets and Braves at 500, and the Nats really struggling right now, 5 games under.
Well, the National League East was heralded as the best division if in the league, if not baseball, and boy, it's just been very, everybody's got stops and starts.
That was last year, and you know, everybody amongst the 4 teams that are trying to be competitive this year upgraded, or at least they felt as though they did. I'll tell you what the strongest division in the league right now is. It's the National League Central. I mean, the Reds are sitting at the bottom of that division, but they've got the best pitching in the league, and everybody else in that division is 500 or better.
Well, this is not a bad Reds ball club. We're used to seeing a team that loses close to 100 games. They're very competitive.
And they're going to hit. I mean, they've got guys who are underperforming right now. I don't know if their pitching is going to be quite as strong as it's been so far, but they're going to hit better.
Well, the same can be said for the Mets in the starting pitching, that they're going to pitch. It's a good sign yesterday. DeGrom back in form. And I agree with Mickey Callaway's assessment of his start. It wasn't, you know, one of those great DeGrom starts, but it was a big 2 steps forward. I thought he threw a terrific game. And now it's just Syndergaard's got to follow form. You've got Matz and Wheeler pitching well. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. And Vargas.
Vargas, the last 3 starts, you can't argue with what he's done. He doesn't go deep, but he certainly has been effective.
It's a long season. 5 times 30, folks, is only 150 games. There's still 12 after that. Long way to go.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? Because that went right by me.
Well,
5 times. So this is the 31st game today. So
right.
We've played 30.
So if we do 5 more 30s, it's only 150. Math, multiplication, and you still got 12 left. So it's a lot of season left, and most of it is going to be in hot weather.
Did you get A's in arithmetic?
No, I did not. I got C's. I just got by.
And Malley strikes out the side in the 2nd inning. I find that hard to believe. You are just so bright.
I was good at long division.
Rise it up to score Mets tickets, concerts, and more rewards you really, really want. It's free to join in the My Verizon app and exclusively for Verizon customers. Is that a Montreal Expos jersey?
Yes, it is.
That's outstanding.
I never liked that jersey. Remember they had the different colors in the sections of the hat. They had, it was almost like Beanie and Cecil.
Did you ever see, if you look at the M on the Expos hat, and it's all made in the 3 different colors?
Yes.
There's also hidden in the M, there's an EB.
I did not see.
Expos baseball.
I did not know that.
Should check that out.
You remember Beanie and Cecil, don't you?
Of course I do. The dinosaur and the little kid.
Right. Who had the little cap with the propeller on
beanie.
top? Yeah.
That's why they call it a beanie. Tyler Mahle leads off in the 3rd. 1 for 7 this year. 5 for 43 in his big league career. And Syndergaard overthrows the fastball, and it's 1-1.
I like the Beanie and Cecil cartoons.
Don't have a big recollection of that.
I don't have a big one, but I know that I liked watching.
I was partial to Puff the Magic Dragon. On the outside corner, a strike, and it's 1-2.
That was on Captain Satellite every day after school, 4 o'clock.
Captain Satellite?
He was an astronaut.
Like the San Francisco equivalent of Officer Joe Bolton. 1-2 coming, and the curveball misses. 2-2. Jesse Winker on deck, and then Eugenio Suarez against Syndergaard has given up a hit in each of the first 2 innings. Continues to give up more hits than innings pitched this year. 42 hits now in 36 innings, which is just unfathomable. And the fastball, he went around for strike 3. So Mahle is a strikeout victim, the 3rd of the day for Noah. Well, those are the numbers last year and this year. Even last year, he gave up about the same number of hits as innings pitched. But this year, the home run rate is up. The opponent's batting average with runners in scoring position much higher. And of course, the ERA more than doubled what it was last year. In fact, Syndergaard has lost his last 2 starts. It's the first time he's lost consecutive starts since April of 2017, before he had the lat injury. Here's Jesse Winker, and he takes a curveball for a strike. And Syndergaard has never lost 3 consecutive starts in his career. Winker struck out his first time up. And he goes after the changeup, and that one caught Ramos. And that stung.
On the quad.
Got unprotected areas there, despite all the equipment a catcher wears. And he's having a little trouble. Ryan Chicklow, the head athletic trainer, out to take a look.
See, that's what happens. Oh,
right on the knee.
How about that? It must have got
in between, the top piece and the shin guard.
Boy, you think that wouldn't have. Well, he's up and about. That's.
Well, you know, he's had serious knee issues over the course of his career. So it always concerns you when he takes a shot off the knee like that. The big Buffalo will continue on. Doesn't look real happy, though.
Well, would you?
No. Please don't kneecap me to try and find out. 0-2 to Winker with Suarez on deck. And it's hit on the ground to Cano. And he throws out the jogging Winker. 2 out.
Boy, oh boy. Don't be afraid to get it out of 3rd gear, Mr. Winker.
So 2 out and nobody on. Syndergaard with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning, as he takes on Eugenio Suarez, who inquires about the health of Wilson Ramos after that foul ball. Yeah, Winker has definitely earned some attention during this series. Now they're waving back.
He's the Reds version of Jock Peterson of the Dodgers.
Suarez struck out his first time up, now 1 for 14 in the series, and Syndergaard throws a high fastball and falls behind 2-0. Suarez was the Reds MVP last year. 34 homers, 104 runs driven in.
Oh, look at him down on the knob. The pinky over the knob. So you've got Joey Votto, who's getting a rest today. Premier player for the Reds, long career, who chokes up 2 inches. And you've got Suarez, who hit 30+ home runs last year, down on the knob.
And beyond. And a 4-pitch walk puts Suarez aboard. First walk given up by Syndergaard. Well, those are the all-time Cincinnati leaders against the Mets. I don't think people know how good Gary Nolan was. Gary Nolan came up around the same time as Tom Seaver and had the same kind of talent, but he just had so many arm injuries.
And folks, no one, I don't think anybody knows about Jim Maloney. Jim Maloney pitched in the shadow of Bob Gibson, Warren Spahn. He was one of the prolific pitchers of his generation. Strikeout guy, 20-game winner.
Eric Dietrich hits one toward left center, slicing away from Nimmo, but he runs it down to end the inning. So Syndergaard works around a 2-out walk. No score as we go to the bottom of the 3rd at Citi Field. Little peek into the Mets Hall of Fame at our friend and dear departed colleague Ralph Kiner.
Oh, nice.
Complete with his 1969 Mets World Championship ring.
Rings now are gaudy affairs.
Yeah.
Well, I like those better.
A little more low-key back half a century ago. Noah Syndergaard leads off and flies one to deep left field. Back goes Winker into the warning track, takes a look, and it's gone. Noah Syndergaard strikes again. His 2nd home run of the season, his 6th career home run. And this one required no outfielder's aid. He hit it well over the Great Wall of Flushing to the opposite field. What a clout. 1-0 New York.
Well, do you remember, Gary, when this stadium first opened in 2006?
9.
I'm sorry.
2009.
9, and balls were having a hard time getting out. Even the big, strong hitters over that wall of Flushing. Now they're going out with a lot of frequency.
Pitcher going oppo well over that back wall. Jeff McNeil gets one in the air, not nearly as deep. And Schebler comes over to get it. And that's the first out of the inning. But this was hit a long, long way to the opposite field.
Well, he jumped all over this. Is a fastball away around belt high. Yes, sir. He tagged it.
I mean, that went well back above that big back wall.
Well, he got the good wood on it.
4 home runs for Met pitchers this year. Wheeler, DeGrom, and now 2 for Syndergaard. That Met home run means Citi will donate enough for No Kid Hungry to provide 20,000 meals to kids in need. So with that, Syndergaard's 6 career home runs, he now ties Tom Seaver for 2nd on the Mets all-time pitcher home run list. Only Doc Gooden with 7 has hit more. 1-1 to Dom Smith, who struck out his first time up. First one this year was deflected over the wall by Dexter Fowler in St. Louis. This one required no hint of deflection. Dom jumps away from a pitch that wasn't that far inside. It's 2-1. Tyler Mahle, that's the 5th home run he's allowed this year in 30 innings. And he gets a high strike to Smith, 2-2. And wastes away a fastball.
Don's been kind of falling away from the plate there. You saw that one swing prior to this one on the changeup away. He let go with one hand, pulled away on that changeup there, pulling off a little bit. Needs to drive more towards the pitcher.
Fouls off another splitter, and it's still 2-2. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming from Malvey to Smith, and that's too high, 3-2. The Mets have 3 hits in this game, all by left-hand hitters, Cano, Conforto, and Syndergaard, which doesn't come as a shock when you look at the splits on Malley. Lefties were hitting .361 against him coming into the day, and now Smith flies one to shallow center, and in comes Schebler, and that's the second out. Lefties hitting 100 points higher against Malley than the right-handers. So 2 out, and here's Cano, who had a sharp single up the middle his first time up. Now has 2,499 career hits. And again, a full shift against Robbie. And he slashes the curveball foul, 0-1.
Man, that's a breaking ball right there again. He got the base hit off the breaking ball up the first time up, right where the shortstop is on your screen right now. Bullet, and there's a backdoor breaking ball. Beautiful swing on it. Looks like Robinson is back into form, really hitting the ball where it's pitched.
Twice hit on the hand in the last 10 days. Once on the right, once on the left, and it hasn't seemed to slow him down at all. He was in a hot streak before he first got hit in St. Louis, and then got hit again this past weekend against Milwaukee. But he has survived both of those plunkings quite nicely. .2 from Malley, and he comes inside, catches the corner for strike 3, and Cano certainly did not think so, and begs to differ with Marty Foster. 5 strikeouts from Malley. Mets lead on the Syndergaard homer. Fourth inning, it's been all Syndergaard. 3 scoreless innings on the mound, 1 long home run at the plate. He's got a 1-0 lead. Yasiel Puig leads off in the 4th. And he slams one toward right center. Over toward the gap goes Conforto to run it down. 1 hard out to start the 4th, and we check in with Steve.
Well, Gary, I'm here with the 21st men's head basketball coach for St. John's University, Mike Anderson. He threw out the first pitch here today. And Mike, first of all, congratulations. Welcome to New York.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here. Excited about being here.
Yeah, it is an exciting prospect to get St. John's back to where they've been in the past. I know for you, it's your 4th head coaching job, so you're kind of aware about how to come in and figure out what's to do first. What is that process when you're coming into a new place of learning the program and making some moves pretty early on?
Well, you got to evaluate what you have there. You got to re-recruit the guys that are there, because there have been a time where a lot of things been going through their minds, people in their heads, and then not only that, now you got to get your kids in, you got to recruit, you got to get your staff in, and more importantly, you got to try to change that culture to what you want in terms of a winning atmosphere.
You say change the culture in terms of a winning atmosphere, but you also have a way that you like to play the game, and your style is known as very, very up-tempo, very exciting. Describe to the fans in New York what type of team they can expect to see.
Well, it's going to be run and execute, so it's not running gun, but defensively, we're going to hang our hats on our defense, and we'll pick them up when they come off the bus, and a lot of trapping, up-tempo, in your face, play a lot of players, exciting basketball, sharing the basketball, high score and high octane.
How does that affect the types of recruits that you're looking at when you're trying to fit them into a certain style of play?
Well, I think kids enjoy playing up-tempo, open-court basketball. As I said, it's harder to play that way because it's kind of like it's organized chaos. It's something we work on every single day. But kids enjoy playing that way. I think fans will embrace it as well.
Mike, when you look to recruit, how much of a tool is New York City and is Madison Square Garden?
That's the thing that's really the potential that taking place, playing at the Garden, playing in New York City. And it's a basketball area. I mean, people are thirsty, they're hungry, you know, for some, I think, winning basketball. But not only that, but some exciting basketball. I mean, St. John's won 21 games. Chris and his team won 21 games. We want to build on that.
Have you communicated much with Louis Carnesecca about the history of the program?
Well, I've talked to him since I've been here, but if you know St. John's basketball, then you know all the greats that have been through here. Walter Berry, I got a chance to talk to Mark Jackson, Felipe Lopez. I was just with him the other day on the 30, and he's excited about Zendon Hamilton. I mean, you go on and on. There have been some great players here. A lot of winning took place here.
A lot of winning took place here, and I know people are really excited about the potential that you could bring to potentially keep that tradition going. Mike Anderson, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations. I know you gotta go do some recruiting, so we appreciate you sticking around.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
You got it. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, those of us who watch Seton Hall basketball know all about Mike Anderson. His Arkansas team knocked off the Pirates in the tournament 2 years ago, and that was a body blow. But his team does play extremely hard defense. I loved what he said at his press conference, because, you know, he's a disciple of Nolan Richardson, who invented 40 minutes of hell, and he was asked if it was going to be 40 minutes of hell. He said, well, it'll be 30 minutes of hell at first and 10 minutes of what the hell are we doing, which I thought was a fantastic line. So all the best to Mike in his new gig with the Red Storm. 1-2 coming to Iglesias, who hit into a double play his first time, and he hits one foul. So Noah with another chance for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. He issued a 2-out walk in the last inning. He's kept his pitch count down. Last start he threw 100 pitches in 5 innings. Here he is about to throw his 50th with 2 out in the 4th. And Iglesias grounds one down to third. That's a fair ball. Frazier with the running toss, and he gets the out. That gives Syndergaard his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. Shutdown inning after his own home run. Home 4th inning. Michael Conforto leads off against Tyler Mahle. Conforto had a base into center field his first time up. Todd Frazier and Brandon Nimmo to follow for the Mets in the 4th. This is a very closely contested series. 3 one-run games. Reds won on a 9th inning home run on Monday. Mets won in 10 innings Tuesday. Another 9th inning home run for the Reds yesterday. 3 one-run games, and here we are in a 1-0 game in the 4th inning today.
There's that elusive outside corner for Conforto that's just been giving him fits.
Went back up the middle his first time up. And he fouls off the fastball. 1-2. One thing Tyler Mahle has been very effective at this year, although it eluded him in the last inning, is getting the leadoff man out in innings. Syndergaard ambushed him for a home run in the 3rd leading off. But this year, coming into the day, opponents' on base percentage leading off an inning against Mahle is 143, which is the 2nd lowest for any major league pitcher, behind the Rays' Yonny Chirinos. So he's got in trouble, but not generally with leadoff men getting on. And he throws the curveball in the dirt, and it's 2-2 to Conforto. So Conforto had an 8-pitch at bat his first time up. We'll see a 7th pitch in this at bat. Two coming. And he fouls away that splitter. So Mahle with a few long at bats along the way, working to a fairly high pitch count. He was at 58 through 3, and this will be his 8th pitch of the at bat to Conforto, starting the 4th. And Michael takes it high, full count. Three-two coming. And that's slammed to center field. Back goes Schebler onto the warning track, and he makes a beautiful catch. Nicely done, Scott Schebler, on a ball over his head, and he reached back and made a terrific play to retire Conforto.
Ball struck well by Conforto. A little too much air time. Lets Schebler get there. That would have short hopped the wall.
Even his feet on the backhand. It's one of the reasons why Schebler continues to get as much playing time as he has, despite struggling offensively, is that he does give them good defense in center. However, that could change as early as tomorrow, because the Reds reportedly are going to be calling up their #1 prospect tomorrow, Nick Senzel, who had been an infielder until this year, but they moved him to center field this spring, and it looks as though he's going to make his debut tomorrow. Hooked down to third by Frazier, and Suarez throws him out, and that's the 2nd out. Well, there are so many talented people who work for us at SNY, and one of them is going to be saying goodbye to us after today. That's Eric Petke, who has been an engineer on our team for quite some time, and we want to wish Eric all the best. He's going to be moving on to bigger and better things. Thank goodness we had Eric around to make sure everything was in working order.
And also to make sure that Gary has the proper headset. Gary's very particular about the headset. Has to be a certain way. Notice him taking care of your headset there, making sure we no complaints from this guy.
You know what the greatest need is in the headset? It has to be loud.
Well, there's one we really don't like. That one.
The newer ones.
Yeah.
We like the older ones.
Yes.
We've got old school headsets, and so Eric has to keep them working because it's hard to get new ones or new parts. Nimmo takes strike 3 called. 2nd time he's been called out on strikes today. That's 6 of them for Malley. 1-0 Mets after 4. Watch SNY Mets get go on any device. Just visit SNY.TV or download the NBC Sports app today for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Here's the road ahead, brought to you by GMC. Not near a TV. Catch the Mets on the new radio flagship, WCBS News Radio 880. Rematch with the Brewers, who won 2 out of 3 here last weekend. Christian Yelich should be back in the lineup tomorrow night for Milwaukee. Then the Mets go to San Diego, where Fernando Tatis Jr. is out with a hamstring injury. That's a little disappointing not to see him. And the Mets come home to play the Marlins before they head right back out on the road to go to Washington and Miami. Just seems like the schedule is overloaded with road games in the early season. Scott Schebler leading off in the 5th inning. Schebler reached on Syndergaard's fielding error in the 2nd inning. And he foul tips a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-2. Casali and Malley will be behind Schebler, which does not rhyme with Casali or Malley. Does anything rhyme with Schebler?
Kebler?
But what's Kebler?
No, it's Keebler.
Keebler, like the elf?
Right. Cookies, whatever they're called.
So if it was Schiebler, that would rhyme with Keebler, but it's Schebler, which rhymes with nothing.
It's a very Deutsch name, that's for sure.
Beautiful day on the Shea Bridge. It's about time. 70 degrees today. So cold last night. Here's the 0-2, and Schebler pokes one into the shift, and there's Rosario perfectly positioned to throw him out 1 away. Time for your Spectrum high-speed pitch. This is Noah's favorite part of the day. He always wins.
Most of the time.
Well, the Mets got 7 scoreless innings out of DeGrom last night, and so far so good for Syndergaard this afternoon. Now Kurt Casali, who flied out his first time up, and he takes a slider for a strike. It stands to reason that there's every expectation that the Mets will get their starters going. It's just a matter of when and what it's going to take. And certainly there had to be a big sigh of relief on DeGrom's part last night to perform the way he did. And Syndergaard hoping to finish today with a similar feeling.
Well, he's pitching very judiciously today. I think it's his best start.
Tom Smith has this one lined up, has to look through the sunglasses to find it, and makes the play for the second out. So 2 out and nobody on. RPM Raceway. No lights, no limits, just speed. Visit rpmraceway.com for arrive and drive information or to book your next event. Now Tyler Mahle bats for the second time. Struck out his first time up. He's pitched pretty well in his own right today. 6 strikeouts in the first 4 innings. The only blemish, the Syndergaard home run. By the way, in reference to Syndergaard's home run, we mentioned 4 home runs by Met pitchers this year. That ties the Mets' single season record for home runs by pitchers. And it's only the 31st game of the year. So home runs are up all around baseball, but Met pitchers are following that standard. The last few starts have not been pretty for Syndergaard. This one has been so far. 99 off the corner, 1-2.
60th pitch.
Well, the Mets could certainly use a long outing. Mickey Callaway wasn't sure before the game today whether he had Seth Lugo or Edwin Diaz available tonight. And he strikes out Mahle to end the inning. 4th strikeout for Syndergaard. He's retired 7 in a row. Halfway through, 1-0 Mets. Well, it was in baseball history 80 years ago today that Lou Gehrig finally took himself out of the lineup, slowed by what would be eventually diagnosed as ALS, known as Lou Gehrig disease. Babe Dahlgren replaced him in the Yankee lineup after Gehrig had played 2,130 consecutive games, a record that stood until Cal Ripken broke it.
Boy, 1939. What shoes to fill.
Saw a great picture today, which I don't know if we can find, of Babe Dahlgren, who replaced Gehrig in the lineup, sitting at the edge of the Yankee dugout disconsolately because he was so upset that Gehrig had taken himself out, and Gehrig with his arm around Dahlgren consoling him about taking his spot. Wilson Ramos leads off for the Mets in the home 5th against Tyler Mahle, who has struck out 6 over the first 4 innings. And a fastball strike, 0-1. Ramos lines one to the gap in right center field, and that ball will go back to the wall. Ramos digging for second, trouble picking it up for Puig, and Ramos stands at second base with a leadoff double. So Ramos, who has been struggling, picks up just his 4th extra base hit of the season.
Well, this is vintage Ramos right here, using the right center field. He loves to go that way. Down and away is his strength.
So the Mets with a runner in scoring position. Rosario at the plate. Ahmed took a call, 3rd strike, his first time up. And the curveball fouled off the right side. Dietrich hoping for a play to the railing, but it's out of play.
Well, it was a hanger right there.
Here's some of the headlines from the day that Lou Gehrig had his streak broken.
Well, you can tell right at the beginning of World War II, in 1939, the German attack on Poland.
There's that picture that I referenced a moment ago. I think we found it. It's amazing, isn't it? What an unbelievable. When you consider the circumstances, and you know, Lou didn't know how sick he was at the time, but that he's consoling the guy who took his spot.
Yep.
Amazing.
Sharp-eyed camera photographer, I should say.
Rosario hits one to the right side. They'll advance Ramos to third as Peraza makes the play for the first out. So the Mets got a runner to third with one out, a productive out for Rosario, and that'll give Syndergaard a chance for another RBI. Or maybe he'll just hit another one over the wall. He is one of only 2 Met pitchers ever to hit 2 home runs in a game, while Terrell was the other. Syndergaard had his 2 home run game at Dodger Stadium back in 2016. Infield comes in, Ramos at third and 1 out. And you can't really run on contact here because, you know, Ramos is just not very fleet.
No, it would be definitely let the ball see it through the infield.
Curveball. Did he swing? He did. Third base umpire Ron Culper with the call, and it's 0-2. Syndergaard has had 2 hits this year. They both left the ballpark. Those were his only 2 runs batted in. And Noah goes down swinging on the curveball for the second out.
Well,
7 strikeouts for Malley.
First ball fastball, his first time up, home run to the opposite field. Second time up, 3 straight curves.
So now it's left to Jeff McNeil. The infield can back up for the Reds. McNeil 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out and flied out. And he goes after a first pitch fastball. 96. That's as hard as Malley has thrown today. 24-year-old Tyler Malley made his debut 2 years ago, just 4 starts in 17, and then last year became a regular member of the Reds rotation. 23 starts, 7-9, 4.98, and he has improved this year. Even though his ERA is at 4.5, his walks are way down, his strikeouts are up. He had 2 really good starts to begin the year. He's had 3 tough ones in a row, but pitching a real good game today.
Pitching him inside.
And he gets jammed and pops it up into shallow center.
Trouble.
Who's going to get it? As
Whoa!
Iglesias somehow able to stay with it, and for some reason not wearing sunglasses.
Oh,
that's a little hard to explain. Yeah, the sun's right up there, Jose. Good catch, though.
So the good sun.
How are the lines at Shake Shack for a noontime start? A little shorter than for a night game?
Oh, look at that Stella.
Streetcar Named Desire? Sixth inning, 1-0 New York. Top of the batting order. Third time around for Syndergaard to face Jesse Winker, who has struck out and grounded out. Syndergaard 5 scoreless innings under his belt, 2 hits. And a first pitch curveball misses to Winker, ball 1. Noah's walked 1. He struck out 4. He's been in solid command right from the outset of this game, and his home run has accounted for the game's only run. Winker flies one down the left field side, and then he'll go out and play.
I think it's safe to say here we are in the 6th inning, Gary. Noah now is what, 62 pitches in. He's back in form here. This is a very fine performance, and backed up now, coupled with DeGrom's performance yesterday. Pitching's the name of the game. I like it.
Well, what was it that Steve said earlier? What does he do when he gets ahead of the count? Can he put people away? Well, he's put people away so far in this game.
And he hasn't had to pitch from the stretch a lot. He's kept men off base. That's his bugaboo. Or, yeah, bugaboo is the right word. I was going to say bugbear, but
no, bugaboo is right on. Funny thing is about Syndergaard, you know, when you talk about pitching from the stretch, he basically pitches from the stretch.
I understand.
With nobody on.
But he doesn't have to worry about anybody over there.
But, you know, I think part of that is, you know, striking that balance, learning how to control the running game without it affecting your pitching. And he's still working on that. He ties up Winker. It's on the inside corner. 99 on the black for his 5th strikeout of the day. Oh, they'll remember Jesse Winker after this series.
Well, wants the fastball up. Oh, tied. Bell tie, Gare.
What a great spot.
Yes, sir.
G Pitchcast agrees. And there's a fastball strike to Eugenio Suarez, who has struck out and walked today. And the curveball. Did he go? He did not. Gave Morales with the call. A ball and a strike. Full shift on against Suarez. 3 infielders on the left side. It's been a rough series for Suarez. He's homered, but that's his only hit in 14 at bats in the series. And Syndergaard keeps it off the outside corner. 2-1. Derek Dietrich waits on deck. And Suarez hits one right through the vacated space and into right field. So a shift buster for Eugenio Suarez. The 3rd hit against Syndergaard this afternoon. Let's check in with the studio. Doug Williams has a game break brought to you by your local Honda dealer.
Whoa.
It may be his preferred position, but he's a better third baseman than he is a shortstop.
That's a fine play from the hole right there. What a strong arm.
Yeah, he's got an unbelievable arm. Here's Derek Dietrich, who's singled and fly to center. And he takes low and in for ball 1.
Well, here we are with Noah from the stretch.
Suarez no threat to steal a base. Noah's given up 4 steals through his first 6 starts. That is certainly a step in the right direction. And he gets the curveball over for a strike. But again, it's about achieving that balance, right? Figuring out how to control the running game without having it affect the quality of his pitches.
Well, Ken Davidoff wrote a column on Noah pitching from the stretch Tuesday, which I found interesting. Noah's quotes.
Double play ball. Cano with the backhand flip. Rosario has to make the adjustment and does so for the 4-6-3 double play. Second one turn behind Syndergaard today. 1-0 Mets. That's box score brought to you by Old Dominion. The only hit that has mattered, the one right at the bottom. Noah Syndergaard, 6th career home run, 2nd this year. He's done the rest from the mound, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead as they come up in the bottom of the 6th. Mets open their road trip tomorrow night in Milwaukee with Steven Matz on the mound against Brandon Woodruff. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 7:30 right here on SNY. They're the city probables for the series. Zach Wheeler Saturday night against Gio Gonzalez. Jason Vargas Sunday against Zach Davies. And the Reds are going to go to their bullpen as we go to the bottom of the 6th and bring in the veteran left-hander Zach Duke, with the Mets scheduled to send up 3 left-hand hitters, but Pete Alonso will bat for Dom Smith, and he takes a strike.
Well, Duke got the win in last night's game in 1/3 of an inning. Got Cano out. 3 left-hand hitters up, as Gary mentioned. I don't understand. You got a 24-year-old pitcher out there who had 2 terrific starts for the season, only gave up 1 run in those starts, and now I'm talking about Mahle, and he's had 3 bad ones. He's thrown a terrific game. He's handled the left-hand hitters. It's a confidence builder. Leave him out there. Let him pitch. 84 pitches.
Let me ask you about Mickey Callaway's decision here to bring in Alonso with the lead and take out his better defensive first baseman.
Well, to me, there's a lot of game left, and get a bat in there, I think, because 1 swing, it's a 1-0 game.
Pops this one up in foul ground. Suarez hoping for room. Right to the railing. Reaches, got a glove on it, couldn't hold it. And he drop kicks the glove. I don't think I've seen that one before.
He
almost had it.
Yep.
But how about the kick? It was in the glove, and then it wasn't quite. Oh, that's impressive. He even made the grab. 0-2 to Alonso, is 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter in his rookie season. And takes the backdoor curveball outside, 1-2. Don't take it out on him. He didn't drop the ball. And another backdoor attempt by Duke that missed. 2-2.
Another thing about Mickey Callaway in this switch here, he could have stayed with Dom, certainly. But, you know, Alonso has showed us, Gary, he's more than adequate at first base.
I mean, Dom is clearly the better defensive first baseman. And I guess if it's the 8th inning, maybe you don't make this move, but in the 6th inning you do. I guess that's kind of what you're saying. Either
way, you can go either way, and I have no problem.
And that's inside, ball 4. So after Duke got ahead of him 0-2, he lost into a walk, and the Mets have a leadoff base runner. Well, the mutual admiration society between Alonso and Smith makes those moves so much easier for Mickey Callaway. These guys are such tight buddies. I mean, like Gelbs and Randazzo tight.
Well, these guys have played in minor leagues together. You've got McNeil in that bunch too. I mean, there's a lot of guys here that have played together and know each other.
So here's Cano with Alonso at first, and he grounds one foul. Cano is singled to center and taken to call third strike today. Duke came on to face Cano last night, got him to ground out. That was the only batter he faced. Robbie's now 0 for 6 in his career against Zach Duke. And he laces one foul. Nice knockdown by the ball boy on the carom. Got to keep it on the infield.
The ball boys so far this season have been outstanding.
Yes, they have. Great work. Nice job, guys.
And they're allowed to sit down on the job.
So do we. You know, there are some sports where the announcers stand. Football, a lot of the announcers stand while they work. 0-2 to Cano. And he went around strike 3. He didn't think so. He was upset with the strike 3 call his last time up, and now upset with Marty Foster about the check swing call. Foster not asking for help, making the call himself, and that's the first out.
The only thing you can ask for from an umpire is ask for help.
That's not a swing.
I don't think he swung.
I mean, Cano has been called for swings twice on balls that hit him, and now he's called for that check swing. So 1 out and 1 on. Here's Conforto, flied one deep to center his last time up, and Duke rushes a fastball inside for ball 1. Michael's 1 for 2 today. The Mets have just 4 hits. The Reds have 3. Syndergaard's home run in the 3rd inning, producing the only run. Alonso at first with 1 out. And Conforto goes after the cutter, and it's 1-1. Todd Frazier waits on deck. And they have a right-hander up in the bullpen ready for him. Tyler Mahle went 5 innings, allowed a run on 4 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Gave up the home run, just 84 pitches. Robert Stevenson ready to go if needed in the Reds bullpen. And Conforto hits a comebacker. Duke to second, and Iglesias on to first for the 1-6-3 double play. And just like that, the Mets are done in the 6th. On to the 7th, 1-0 New York. Pete Alonso, who pinch hit for Dom Smith, stays in the game at first base as Noah Syndergaard takes the mound for the 7th, working with a 1-0 lead. Yasiel Puig leads off. Puig hit the ball hard his last time up, lined out to Conforto in right, and he hits this one in the air to shallow right center. And angling in Conforto to grab that one. 1 pitch. Puig is retired on 1 pitch for the 3rd straight at bat. We check in with the studio where Doug Williams is waiting with another game break. Peralta just coming back from the injured list. He was out with a shoulder injury, so not a good big inning for him in his return. Jose Peraza takes a strike. See what happened with the Brewers last night. Chase Anderson was supposed to start and ripped a callus right before the game began, and they had to throw Jacob Barnes out there to start, and he gave up 3 runs in the 1st inning. 1-1 to Peraza. The Mets will see Woodruff and Gonzalez, whom they saw this past weekend, and then Zach Davies, who's been by far their best starter, will pitch on Sunday.
Jack Davies with the curveball that he loves to throw.
Guy who looks like he's too young to get into the ballpark. Fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2.
So does their manager.
Craig Counsell?
He looks very young to me.
Well, you know why that is. Because we're old. 1-2 to Peraza, and that just missed. Noah thought he'd get that call, but Marty Foster said no, and it's 2-2. What does G Pitchcast say?
Missed.
Advantage, Mr. Foster. 2-2 to Peraza, and he swings and misses at a fastball away, same location. 6 strikeouts for Syndergaard, 2 out of the inning. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Now that's effort. Look at that effort. Look at that. Oh. Every ounce he has is going into this.
Oh, determined. Oh, easy on the teeth.
Jose Iglesias.
That was great.
Fouls went off. Did he know he was being watched? Noah's gone 7 innings once this year, trying to get through the 7th with 2 out and nobody on. And Iglesias takes a slider down, a ball and a strike. Noah threw 7 innings against the Twins April 10th. No Met pitcher's gone beyond 7 innings this year. He might have a chance to do that if he can make quick work of Iglesias here. Iglesias has grounded out twice, once into a double play. Still throwing 99. Reds have managed just 3 singles against Syndergaard. They've not had a runner past first base all day. And Iglesias pops one foul. Coming up tonight, Geico Sportsnet, 11 o'clock. That's hours from now. We'll have all the Mets highlights. Islanders hanging on the precipice. And the NBA playoffs continue. Geico Sportsnet, 11 o'clock tonight. Iglesias waves at a curveball, strike 3, inning over. 7 strikeouts for Syndergaard. He's through 7, working with a 1-0 lead. Well, 7th inning, Mets with a 1-0 lead. Look at this last curveball by Syndergaard.
And that has more of the circular motion, not the dot on the ball. It comes more over the top. It was a really wonderful curve. Syndergaard throwing great.
Robert Stevenson on to pitch in the home 7th. Frazier trying to drop down a bunt with everybody playing back, but he comes up empty. Stevenson's 2nd appearance in the series, gave up a double to McNeil in 2/3 of an inning on Tuesday night. Syndergaard through 7 at just 84 pitches should be good to keep on going. And Stevenson gets ahead on Frazier 0-2. Stevenson off to a terrific start. His 13th appearance. There's the lineup. Syndergaard, who has just been magnificent today and has counted for the game's only run as well. And the breaking ball in for a call, 3rd strike. Stevenson began the day with the league hitting 114 against him on non-fastballs, and he gets another out on a non-fastball.
Well, the analytics say, Gare,
keep throwing the breaking ball.
That's right, and don't hurt your arm. We grew up, if you threw the curveball too much, you had more of a chance to hurt your arm than throwing the fastball. And now today it's in reverse, which I don't claim to be a doctor or an orthopod.
Nor do you play one on TV. Nimmo's been up twice, taking a call, 3rd strike both times. Hey, the Derby's on Saturday, you know.
Oh, baby.
That's why we played the call to the post a little louder than usual. Because, you know, coming up to the big event. Nimmo hitless in his last 14 at bats. And takes the high fastball from Robert William Stevenson. Not to be confused with Robert Louis Stevenson. Different spelling. Stevenson.
Kidnapped.
This Robert has the PH going.
I like Kidnapped.
Better than Treasure Island?
Better than Treasure Island. Kidnapped gave you kind of an insight into the society and culture of the Scots. And it was really a wonderful movie too. Peter O'Toole was in it, as well as oh gosh, I can't think of his name, from Network, the guy we have that always has the rally cry.
Peter
Finch. Peter Finch was the main character.
That's pulled down to first. Dietrich plucks it out of the air, and Nimmo's retired for the 2nd out. I don't think I saw that movie.
It's worth seeing. It's really a good movie. And I believe it was one of those Disney films back in the day. But anything Peter Finch is involved in, and Peter O'Toole, 2 fine actors.
You know, Peter Finch passed away right after Network was made.
Yes. I remember Elaine Kaufman up at Elaine's, who told me one night that he would come in there. He was, I guess, quite a little tippler. He would have his drinks.
Was he mad as hell?
He would come in and do, she said, scenes from Shakespeare, all the characters that he knew. And can you imagine having dinner and having an actor like Peter Finch doing that at the table? That would be kind of rare.
Ramos grounds one down to 3rd. Suarez bobbles it, still has plenty of time, and that retires the side. So Stevenson gets him out 1-2-3. Syndergaard back to the mound. Hey, parents, your child is in the booth to call half an inning of a Mets game on SNY. Just go to sny.tv/Kidcaster and submit your child's video entry to compete to win the 2019 SNY Kidcaster contest presented by RPM Raceway. Juan Lagares takes over in center field to shore up the defense as we go to the 8th inning, with the Mets protecting a 1-0 lead for Noah Syndergaard, trying to become the first Met starting pitcher getting out in the 8th inning this year. He's at just 84 pitches through 7.
Well,
Scott Schebler, Kurt Casale in the pitcher's spot at the bottom of the Cincinnati batting order.
The last time, look, Syndergaard tried to go 8 innings. He couldn't get an out, if you recall, Gare. Got that game against Minnesota right here. Gave up 3 base hits, left the game.
And all 3 runs scored.
I don't think it's happening today.
Schebler's 0 for 2. Reached on there, grounded out to short. Mets have the full shift on him again. And he takes just inside. Ball on a strike. Syndergaard has walked only 1. He struck out 7. Allowed 3 singles. And it's not allowed a runner past first base. Schebler breaks his bat and rolls another one out for Rosario. And that's the first out. 6-3 put out on the broken bat. 1 away. Drive around the majors presented by Audi. Padres knocked out Fultonevich and then kept on scoring. They're up 11-0 on the Braves, who won last night. And the Rockies jumping on the Brewers for the 2nd straight day. Arenado hit 2 home runs last night. He's got a 2-run homer today. Alex Bregman with a home run for the Astros. They lead the American League West, going up against the Central Division leaders, the Twins, who in fact have the best record in the American League. Here's Curt Casali, who's flied out and fouled out. It's Tucker Barnhart batting for Casali. So Barnhart, the #1 catcher, up there to pinch hit to give them a left-handed bat against Syndergaard. And he takes the curveball down for ball 1. Joey Votto was out on deck to pinch hit. Votto getting the day off today. Good change up by Syndergaard to get even on Barnhart. 1-1. David Hernandez up now in the Cincinnati bullpen. Barnhart's 0 for 8 in his career against Syndergaard. And Votto hasn't fared much better. Hit out to left field. McNeil retreats, plenty of room. 2 out. Syndergaard's now retired 14 of the last 15 batters. And now he'll face Votto as a pinch hitter. Joey's just 2 for 14 in his career against Syndergaard. Votto went 0 for 4 last night, snapped a 23-game on-base streak for Votto, who is 3 for 12 in this series. And the curveball misses for ball 1. Well, on a day when the Mets needed length from their starter, Syndergaard has provided exactly that. Longest outing of the year. Check swing, and Votto foul tips it for strike 1.
See what happens when you throw strikes. You go deeper in ball games.
Noah's highest pitch count this year was 103 against the Nats in the Mets home opener.
62 strikes, Gary, in 91 pitches.
1-1 to Votto. Popped it up in foul ground. Frazier coming to the railing, can't get there. Seven 2/3 scoreless innings. A home run for the only run of the game. What our pal Ron Darling would call a little league game for Noah Syndergaard. 1-2. Got him looking. Side retired. 99 at the top of the strike zone, and Votto is out on strikes. 8 strikeouts for Syndergaard in 8 scintillating innings. Starters brought to you by People's United Bank. A night after Jacob deGrom gave the Mets 7 scoreless innings, Syndergaard has done him 1 better, and he may have a chance to go 9 tonight.
High fastball, borderline. Let's see. You know, that's a pitch that normally isn't called, but Marty Foster has been a little erratic. He started out with a real tight strike zone. He's kind of opened it up here late.
David Hernandez comes on to pitch the bottom of the 8th. He pitched in each of the first 2 games of the series. Now his 3rd appearance in the 4 games.
And it looks like Syndegaard is in the on-deck circle. They're looking for a complete game.
There's nobody up in the Mets bullpen. Tucker Barnhart, a pinch hit, stays in behind the plate. Syndergaard is responsible for the only run of this game with a home run.
I love it.
Here's the 0-2, and Rosario hits it sharply and eats up Iglesias, but he recovers. Wide throw, and he stayed on the bag. Dietrich kept his foot on the cushion, and they get Rosario.
They're going to check that down in the dugout, the Metsies. Did he stay on the bag?
Nice recovery by Iglesias.
He stayed right in front of it, Garrett. Yeah, he's out.
Yep. No reason to challenge that. Nice play by Dietrich on the stretch. 1 out. So now Syndergaard. If the game ends the way it has gone so far, it would be historic. The Mets have never had a game in their 58 seasons where they won 1-0, where the only run came on a home run by the pitcher.
I believe that. And here it is. One mistake. It's that final line, Garrett.
And he really clocked that ball in the opposite field. 6th career home run, 2nd this season. Now, in September of 1969, when the Mets were moving toward their first World Championship, the Mets played a doubleheader in Pittsburgh, where they won both games 1-0. Syndergaard gets a hold of this one, but this will stay in the ballpark. And Shevler moves over, and that's the 2nd out.
Was Caldwell one of the pit? Cardwell?
Syndergaard gets a nice hand as he comes off. So in September of '69, the Mets played a doubleheader in Pittsburgh. They won both games 1-0, and the pitcher drove in the only run in both games. Jerry Koosman pitched one game. Don Cardwell pitched the other. But they've never won a 1-0 game where the pitcher hit a home run for the only run.
I thought Cardwell was the other pitcher.
Well, Syndergaard can now get ready to face the top of the batting order in the 9th. Winker, Suarez, and Dietrich, the 3 scheduled hitters. Noah at 94 pitches for the day. That's lost a 1-0 game last night, trying to win a 1-0 game today. McNeil turns one foul, and it's 0-2.
No,
Jeff
McNeil
had a rare 0 for 3 today.
Sorry, Gary. This is such a fine pitch game, folks. 1 walk in the game in its entirety. I'm sorry, 2 walks. Syndergaard has a walk, and Duke walked a batter. This is, for the Mets, the only batter that's going to get up 4 times if McNeil makes out.
And Jeff pops one up into shallow left. Winker calling for it. And that retires the side. And now Noah Syndergaard will go to the mound for the 9th inning with a 1-0 lead. The last Mets complete game, the last Mets shutout, and the last Mets 1-0 victory belonged to Noah Syndergaard on the final day of 2018. Now he's trying to do it again. Up 1-0 thanks to his home run, and Jesse Winker will lead off in the top of the 9th. Winker's 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts today, and he fouls off the first pitch curveball, 0-1. Winker, who has quickly become a bête noire here at Citi Field. So Keon Broxton into play left, so the Mets have their 2 best outfield defenders out there with Broxton in left, Lagares in center. Eugenio Suarez on deck, and Winker watches a fastball on the corner, and it's 0-2.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was not close.
And you see Winker's reaction. And Marty Foster says, get back in the batter's box, and now David Bell trying to save his player, and Winker's been ejected. Well, that's the perfect finish for Jesse Winker, who managed to antagonize the fans over the first 3 days of this series, and now has gotten run from the game in the 9th inning.
Well, that's a bad call. That was not even a close strike. And the umpire, come on.
But he told him to get back in the batter's box, and Winker didn't stop.
Let's see, running defense for Marty Foster.
So Jesse Winker ejected from the game, and David Bell will have to send up a pinch hitter with an 0-2 count.
It's going to have to be Farmer, his only guy left.
And it will be Kyle Farmer. And Winker is still hot as he
I don't blame him.
heads toward the tunnel. Well, there have been a lot of ball strike issues today. Robbie Cano has been unhappy on a couple of occasions.
Boom. Oh, hit his
Winker
teammate.
whacked his teammate.
Oh, his ace.
That's Luis Castillo, who got hit by the helmet.
He apologized. I did that once. I hit my bench coach, George Kissel. Watch this pitch. Well, not that bad.
Not bad. I mean, the fact that Ramos had to reach for it made it look worse, but the Jeep pitch cast says it's a strike.
Okay.
So Farmer inherits an 0-2 count, leading off in the ninth. And Farmer watches strike 3 call. That strikeout will be charged to Winker because he left with a 2-strike count. And that is strikeout number 9 for Syndergaard, matching his season high. So 1 out of the top of the ninth. And now Eugenio Suarez, who has walked and had one of the 3 hits against Syndergaard today, a single to right in the 6th. And he flies this one out to right field, and Conforto's there waiting for it. 2 out. And so the Reds are down to their final out. Syndergaard trying to complete a game the likes of which no Met has ever thrown. A 1-0 complete game where the pitcher homers for the only run. But first he's got to get through Derek Dietrich, who has one of the 3 hits against him today. By the way, the last time anybody in baseball did that, it was Garrett Cole for the Pirates 2 years ago. And the fastball just misses inside, ball 1, and Syndergaard still has his good velocity late into this game. That was the last Mets complete game shutout. There was also a 1-0 win on the last day of last season. Curveball drops in for a strike, 1-1. Dietrich grounds one through the hole and a base hit to keep the Reds alive. A broken bat single for Dietrich, his 2nd hit of the game, and the Reds' 4th. So now the tying run is aboard with the Yasiel Puig coming up.
Fastball bled out over the middle. Bell tie. Good hitting by Dietrich. You're going to have a pinch runner for Dietrich. I don't know why. Dietrich runs well.
Not as well as Michael Lorenzen, who will run for him. So Lorenzen will run, and that means that if this game continues, Lorenzen will have to go into the outfield.
All hands on deck.
Yep. He has done that before. Lorenzen's a pitcher who can also play center field, which he has on several occasions this year. So now everybody on David Bell's bench has been used. So here's Puig, who has made 3 one-pitch outs today. Pop to short, line to right, fly to right. Tying run at first, 2 out. And Puig this time takes one. A fastball in the corner, strike 1.
Well, you've got to keep the ball away from Puig here. No home runs. He's had difficulty the whole series on the ball away.
Outfield playing extremely deep, no doubles. There goes Lorenzen, swung and missed. The throw by Ramos, and Lorenzen steals the base. So the pitcher pinch runner, Michael Lorenzen, steals a base to put the tying run in scoring position as the Reds are down to their final strike.
Wicked curveball here. Good pitch to run. Great jump.
That's why he pinch ran. First stolen base of Lorenzen's career. But now Syndergaard has Puig down in the count 0-2. Puig just 1 for 15 in this series. Got him looking, and the ball game is over. Noah Syndergaard, complete game shutout, home run for the only run. Noah let the hair flow on a Thursday afternoon, and he comes up aces. A game the likes of which no Met has authored before. A complete game shutout, homering for the only run as the Mets split the series and beat the Reds 1-0.
And salvage a 5-5 homestand. And borderline too close to call. Marty Foster. I mean, too close to take, excuse me. And what a performance, and so promising here to end this homestand with the two aces of this staff. DeGrom last night, and now Syndergaard today. Two guys that have been struggling, and now with Matz and yet the back three pitching well. Boy, oh boy.
Second shutout of Noah's career. The first one came the final day of last year. This one, a thing of beauty. And he homers for the game's only run. His third career complete game. Second shutout, a 4-hitter. He threw 104 pitches and was masterful from start to finish. 10 strikeouts for Syndergaard as the Mets defeat the Reds 1-0. For every Mets win, the Mets organization is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Katz Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northwell.edu/cats. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $40,000. Quite a finish, quite a day. Noah Syndergaard, after a couple of losses in a row, put an end to that in emphatic fashion. A 4-hit shutout, and he homers for the game's only run. What a day for Noah. Mets win 1-0. We'll be right back to Citi Field.